Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world. Welcome to Baylor Worldwide Television Media, or better known now as BWTM. Okay, the article or the news story that I'm looking into today that was sent to me, to my attention. I was pretty alarmed by it. It's written by Lee Jasper. This is regarding a political figure in the UK, and was sent the article in his blog. It was written actually on the 18th of March 2017, so a few weeks out now. We're in April the 4th, but anyway, I'm gonna read the article and then forever enlightened. Okay, UK black groups launch unprecedented legal action against racism in the workplace. The article is written by Lee Jasper. You can see that on his website. Let's talk about racism at work. On the day of the National UK March Against Racism, in an unprecedented legal challenge, a number of high-profile national British, African, Caribbean, and Asian organizations have just filed a historic legal precedent in the Supreme Court to protect the employment rights of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic professions such as police officers, doctors, dentists, nurses, midwives, solicitors, barristers, judges, and magistrates. Over 100,000 BME professionals may be affected by the ruling. In a historic case due to be heard before the UK Supreme Court on May the 4th, that's a month, literally a month from now, the Metropolitan Police Service are fighting to prevent a police officer challenging her dismissal by claiming that police disciplinary tribunals are protected by judicial immunity. Police misconduct tribunals are chaired by a lawyer appointed according to judicial appointment criteria. A decision by the Supreme Court is expected in September. In addition, the UK Ministry of Justice, MOJ, is relying on the same argument to argue that the 3 British judges currently suing the MOJ for race, sex discrimination, and victimization cannot bring their cases against the Judicial Conduct Investigations Office, JCIO, and that every decision taken by nominated judges investigating misconduct is exempt from the Equality Act. There's some quotes by some quite high-ranking people in the country. This is by D. Peter Herbert, OBE, former Vice Chair of the Metropolitan Police Authority, a Crown Chair Recorder, an immigration judge, comments as Chair of Society of Black Lawyers. An amicus curiae brief is a historic legal application summarizing the institutional racism faced by BME professionals in a range of professional organizations, including the police, medical, and legal profession. The action by the Metropolitan Police Services, supported by the Ministry of Justice, would seek to restrict the principle of equality before the law and access to justice, undermining the Lawrence inquiry recommendations in the process. The Supreme Court has to carefully examine the wider socio-economic consequences of their ruling in the case of P. Ismet Rawat, president of the Association of Muslim Lawyers, said, if the Supreme Court decides to extend judicial immunity to disciplinary tribunals within the police force, there is a reasonable likelihood that it will seriously undermine the ability of many BME professionals to challenge discrimination of all forms. There will be a retrograde step at a time of increasing racism generally, Islamophobia in particular, and sexism in post-Brexit UK and the post-Trump world. Ouch. It is somewhat ironic that the highest court of the land, which is now aware of the absence of diversity in the judiciary, must itself decide on a case that goes to the heart of who is truly able to enjoy equality before the law. BME organizations will be watching with interest. Lee Jasper, the owner of the blog and contributor here, co-chair of BARAC UK and former policing director for London and former equalities lead for the London Criminal Justice Board 2000 to 2008, said, in quote, "This case marks the beginning of the post-Brexit legal civil rights strategy that a number of national black organizations are actively considering, one of whose important aims is to substantially reduce racism in the workplace. Black professionals are catching hell in the workplace, and for some who suffer racism, equality law as it currently stands offers them little to no protection. Black professionals are important and serve as role models for a black community suffering close to 50% youth unemployment. When our young people see that black professionals suffer unfair race discrimination, they become disenchanted, angry, and alienated from society. If post-Brexit anti-discriminatory laws are now to be if discriminatory laws are now to determined here in the UK, then we say that our aim should no less than to substantially reduce race discrimination in the workplace in a matter of years, not decades. We find in our experience that whatever discretion is allowed in employment grievance and disciplinary process, there you will find discrimination. With black graduate unemployment rising remorselessly, now the time is to act. We want to establish the primary primacy of UK equality legislation in all aspects of employment law, particularly the area of workplace race complaints. Viv Anum of the social movement Black Stock stated, "This is not some theoretical legal case restricted to some BME professionals, but will affect the aspirational lives of all BME communities for generations to come. Our role models and professional leads are crucially important to lift our whole community. It is pointless for the government to back the review in a disproportionate BME prison population being conducted by David Lammy MP on the one hand, whilst with the other it seeks to remove equality for those that seek to break through the racial barriers within black community." Simon Woolley, the director of Operation Black Vote, commented, "We must keep up the fight. The landmark case strikes at everything we care about: justice, equality, and accountability. Any backsliding undermines all three, and in effect tells black communities that we care little for you and your hard-won civil rights. At a time when Parliament itself is failing to represent the diversity of BME communities, and only 22% of race and religious discrimination cases are successful in the employment tribunal, it is a disgrace that the Metropolitan Police and Justice Department are seeking to restrict that further by hiding behind judiciary immunity. This action," it says at the bottom of the blog, "this action is also supported by NHS BME Network." And it says, "For further information, please contact info@societyofblacklawyers.co.uk or info@blacksocks, black is spelled BLAKSOX.com. And then you've got the telephone numbers of the people who've contributed. D. Peter Herbert, OBE, 07973 794 946. Viv Annam, Black Socks, 07985 395 166. And Lee Jasper, 07984 181 797. Ishmael Rawat, 07852 146 056. So BME, black and ethnic minorities, there are this post-Brexit with Europe, with Britain pulling away from Europe, it could be a complete nightmare in terms of any protection that the European Union may have given those from ethnic minority backgrounds, and what Europe may have given. The UK is pulling away from that and want to have their own rules and regulations. Not much more I can say about this. The outcome of this, it's on May the 4th, so the decision is going to come out in September. Oh, it's a turbulent time in the UK indeed. Not much more I can say about it, but if you want to, the article itself is within this video. If you look in the video itself, you'll see the article by Ali Jasper. I will, of course, we will at BWTM follow up this information. It's shocking that in the year 2017 we can't just try to get together, get along, and help one another regardless of color rise to the top. But other people have agendas and don't want that to happen, so the fight goes on, but still I rise. When I come back for our second news story of the evening, it will be with Marvel Comics, and they have a lot to say about diversity and how it's affecting their sales. So stay right here, we'll be back. This has been BWTM, and we're out. Thank you for watching. See you soon.